You. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to the January 20th, 2026 meeting of the FIC. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Mr. Brunel, thank you for scheduling the meetings throughout 2026 for us and getting that laid. So I did send those out in an email. I have them at the bottom of the agenda as well for all of 2026. I think the only thing is I'm going to have, I'll email Renee at the high school to set up Google Meets for all of those just in case we need them. Going from there. Let's say before we start going, any other changes or amendments to the agenda? Sounds good. Meeting minutes. We got quite a few to vote on. I did attach them all to the email I sent out yesterday morning. Did everybody get a chance to review all of the meeting minutes? Mm-hmm. Any opposition to vote in block? Go ahead.
I wasn't here in November, so I can't vote with that in block.
Okay. So you weren't here in November. I wasn't here in September.
I have to abstain a few too, because I would have
All
been
right.
here.
I guess we're gonna have to go one by one.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the meeting minutes of August 12th, 2025.
Second.
Second. Go. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. I am 5 because I was present for that meeting. Abstain and then not in favor. So that passes 501. I will make a motion to vote September 9th meeting minutes of 2025.
Second.
Second. All those in favor? 1, 2, 3, 4. Not in favor, abstain, aye, and Joe will also abstain. So that passes 302. I will make a motion to vote on the meeting minutes for October 14th, 2025.
Second.
Second, all those in favor? Looks like I got 5. Opposed, abstain. Mr. Brunel abstains, so that passes 501. And I will make a motion to approve meeting minutes of November 13th, 2025.
Second.
Second, all those in favor? 3, opposed, abstain, 3. Still passes, so meeting minutes pass 303.
I still can't find it online,
What's that?
the November meeting. I don't know if it's me or,
It should be there.
okay.
I did see that comment. I did forward you the meeting minutes from that email, okay. Good evening, Marilyn.
Hi.
So you remember when you can't find?
I can't.
I think I looked too. I didn't think I was able to find it, at least under the 2 headings that I see in the facilities committee.
It may have been one of these where we couldn't go live, maybe we just didn't grab it, put it back up.
I
I
have no
wasn't
idea.
here, so I don't remember what happened.
Yeah, I don't remember.
We'll find it.
I had a rough couple months, like immediately following that, so.
It was the 13th.
Correct. So I guess Marilyn, to kind of catch you up to speed is we just voted on the meeting minutes that were outstanding in draft.
Awesome, I looked at them, I had my comments.
Okay.
Great, thank you.
Sounds good. So I guess we will move on into community input. As a reminder, please state your name and address. These public comments are limited to 3 minutes per person per the same school board policy, BEDH.
I assume there'll be two opportunities for public comment similar to the school board then.
No, just one.
Why is that?
That's the way that we've constructed the agenda.
Oh, interesting. Okay. I'm here to ask you to simply consider. And what I want to start with is an observation. These are the on-site, insight, and the H.L. Turner reports. This particular report, estimate is the Carl Barker estimate that was done in 2024. And this is the recent one from Harvey. What's interesting, if you go back to the Carl Barker estimate, his estimate for an addition is $29 million. So, and right now, apparently, we're moving forward with the 1B, which is just shy of 36 million. What I want to say is I hope you consider this, is that, first of all, both of these firms that did these are fine firms, and they did what they were asked to do. In fact, Harriman, I was happy, if somebody had to be selected, they're probably as good as anybody in the state. And Barker, I think, did a fine job in what he did. But I ask you to understand where we have two estimates for repairs that are in the single millions, and we have two estimates for renovations that are in the $30 to $35 million without any contingency. So these two represent completely different perspectives on the problem. And so I ask you to consider going back and looking at the repairs from a perspective of something will get done. I can't fathom that the public will go for these. And this is the amount of money that a renovation will cost. We have two estimates that back that up. And finally, I want to simply address a comment that Matt Shoemaker made at the meeting the other night when I simply presented, this is the plan that you and I talked about way back in, must have been April, thereabouts, that I wanted to speak to Mr. Cutter about. And it's based upon making repairs and then also making some modifications to the building and using the size of the classrooms that are there now and maintaining the 50 to 60 building. And I want to prove to you that that's a reasonable option to consider. This is the Harriman of 2B. If you look at it, if you study it, it keeps the 50s and 60s building and renovates the 1930s building. And the classroom sizes are exactly as I show in the plan that I present, which is existing. So it proves that Harriman says that those classrooms are adequate to be used. And the reason I say that is they use the figure that the state has of you need a space of 36 square feet per student. And that's how they would recommend using an existing structure. So it proves that A, the 50s and 60s building is a viable structure as well as a 1930s building. And I ask you to take a step back and try from a point of view of the students and the teachers in there to say, this will never get passed. Something in this likely will. Are we going to keep doing this for the third decade? This has been tried to push for over 30 years. I thank you for that opportunity.
Thank you very much. Any other? I don't see any other community members present, so I will close community comment at this time and move into old business concerning the GMS project. I did ask Mr. O'Connell if he could kind of just give us rundown update of where we are with the GMS project. I'm sure if people watched the budget hearing that took place last week, there is not a GMS warrant article in for fiscal year 27. So just trying to get everybody an update as to where we are, why, and kind of the next steps as we go forward.
Yeah, so as Dan said, we're not moving forward with the project for this March. So we're gonna target now March 2027 for the project. Been meeting with people for the last couple of weeks, but most recently this afternoon, met with both Harriman and Harvey to kind of start developing our timeline and schedule for the next year as we start to kind of refocus on what we want to do in terms of looking at costs and community output and all of that type of things. So we're going to develop a schedule, meetings, timelines, probably meet again in a little under a month to kind of finalize that timeline. I'll probably go back and forth with them email wise between now and then, and then kind of focus on what our scope is. We're going to continue to look at the renovation. The option 1B, for lack of a better term, is the renovation with an addition of the second floor. And looking to drill down on that some more to see if there's things that we want to adjust, if there are differences that we can attack that differently, because I think we want to drive down the cost of the project ultimately. And at the same time, really do out the specific costs of all the items kind of associated with the project. And one of the big things we're going to do is to price out, the on-site, in-site report legitimately, and have that comparison point where if we were actually to go out and do all the work that's listed in that report, what is the actual cost associated with all of it? They've given me some rough estimates on that stuff when we were going through the process over the past couple of months, but now that we have time on our side, actually go all the way out and get all the pricing associated with all that. We're gonna maintain our website, maintain our line of communication, keep that stuff active as we kind of go forward on everything like that. We talked a little bit post March vote, because we don't want to confuse people, because this is not on the agenda in March, about putting stuff back out to the community, maybe a one-pager just to summarize where everything is at this exact time. Information about the options, and then possibly doing another in-person community forum before the end of the school year, before people leave for the summer, just again to provide updates on everything kind of going on. And that's kind of where we're at. Bond council, we met with them. Nothing too big to report there because we hadn't gone to go get the bond yet. So it was preliminary work that will hold up again next year. And that we're going to continue to work with Renell, the attorney who's a part of that as well. So update contracts as we need to, legal's dealing with all that type of stuff, and go from there.
What kind of additional cost are you looking at for extending the timelines of all of these consultants?
I don't have an exact figure right now, it's one of the things we talked about, so they're gonna make some proposals to me about the costs associated with it. We'll run it by our legal to make sure, like, what we was kind of under that contract already, and then what the extended work would be. I know with bond counsel, because that was an easier one, there's no additional cost at this time, because all the work she had done for us will just carry over to next year, can literally sit in her file until we can open it back up. A little bit different for Harriman and Harvey, so we'll see what the costs are associated with it.
I guess I'm assuming that there's still gonna be a want for the group that was meeting with Harriman bi-weekly before December would want to meet with them again at some point, so I'm assuming during all of the timelines and stuff that you discussed that there'll be a couple of those meetings brought up.
Yeah, I would imagine so.
Okay.
So I think we're really not gonna meet again probably for another month.
Yeah,
Just
understood.
because they have current projects that they need
Yep.
to wrap up for this voting session. And frankly, we have other work we need to take care of
Yep.
for us to get stuff taken care of. So there probably won't be a ton of movement over the next month till we meet with them again and iron out those timelines. But Otherwise, like, we wanna continue to have those meetings with the group of people who are working with them, to provide feedback and stuff, so.
Sounds good. I guess I'll open it up to anybody, any questions, comments?
I just think it's gonna be an interesting discussion when people ask why we're continuing contracts without ever asking the voters from relative to that. Every other time we've had contracts, they've been warrant articles. I don't wanna say anything about anybody's motivations, but from a voter perspective, it looks a little sketchy that we're moving, we had a contract, we've chosen not to move forward to the completion of that, we're extending it, it's gonna cost more money, and not once did the voters get to weigh in on that cost. So as a voter, going into March votes, I think you've just created an uphill battle for yourself. Cause you have contracts for employees, you have other big ticket items on there. I think it's gonna be an interesting conversation.
Have we spent all the money that we allotted for that contract?
But even that never truly went to the voters, you just did it. Like, there's money set aside for it, sure, but there was a warrant article in '02 that would say that these kinds of things go to the warrant article purpose, so we didn't do that. So I think we have a history, and it's not this crew, obviously, of things not being done in the current process that come back to bite us later. And my concern is that you're setting yourself up for a similar situation, unintentionally and with good intentions perhaps. But I think it's gonna look uncomfortable, it's gonna be some uncomfortable questions from voters because they weren't asked.
Yeah, I guess I see that as the board is the stewards of the district, right? They make those decisions, that's why they're elected by the
Yeah, how'd that work
community.
out for us last construction project? So my concern is,
Well,
again,
you can say whatever you want, but, you know, that's the way that the stuff is set up, right? The board members are elected, they represent the community, they can make decisions on behalf or for the
'02
district.
warrant article stated that these types of projects will warrant to increase the ability of the taxpayers to have a say in the increase in taxes. That warrant article has never been rescinded.
Yeah, and I think the project itself will, you know, where you haven't closed the door on this project, it's the same project.
Right, but how much money do we spend on consultants and we still don't have a successful bond vote? So again, it's just,
But
I think
it's being spent on an expendable trust fund, isn't it?
Yeah.
And they're the agents to expend.
yeah, and again, there was discussion about removing that the last time, agents to expend expended funds in a interesting format. So I'm just saying, given the history, I think you're creating a situation that may be more challenging than you expect.
So, okay, that was in 2002?
'02, '03, something like that.
I'm not familiar,
It was
but
back-
I'll look it up.
It was back with, it said architectural expansions and renovations, increases, and additions of staff and increasing of hours would all go to the voters for approval in order to increase the amount of input people had on their increasing taxes. And in light of the complaints I've heard regarding bills, tax bills, I think it's one we should heed.
What was the incremental trust fund created with used for architectural?
It's for capital, yeah, it was
Yeah.
for
But the
capital.
expe- the
But the voters
expectation-
already, but the voters
Right.
approved for that funds to go in there.
The expectation was we would bring something forward and now we've delayed it. So again, we can choose to not have that conversation with the voters, but I think again, you're creating an unnecessary burden.
They are having that conversation. They went to the budget, they told them what they're gonna do. They have deliberate comes up, they'll explain why they didn't bring it forward. But the trust fund was created for that purpose, with the board being the expended,
Sure, but
And so it has to get refilled, that's the next time the voters have to get it.
practicality though, we have to be sensitive to the fact that the vote went 2/3 the wrong way. So being overly cognizant and aware of people's, one, concern of bills, and two, we still have nothing to show for all the money we put into this planning. People are gonna start asking questions.
I actually think we have a lot to show, but that's just me.
Okay.
You know, like, I know we haven't put a project forward in March 26 yet, but we've eliminated other things. Like, I think one of our goals was to look at the costs associated with reconfiguring the schools versus just renovation addition. I think we answered that question. Like, it's not cheaper. Like, and that was a huge thing that we needed answered,
Mhm.
because people have that question. It's not exceedingly more expensive. like, then it just becomes an educational decision, but it's not cheaper, we're not saving millions and millions of dollars to shift all the kids around the district. So that was a huge part of this work we just accomplished over these past couple months. We have a good sound idea of what this is gonna cost, which I think is critical, right? Like, it's not where any of us want it to be, ideally, like, I was hoping for something to come in a lot cheaper, and then this would be a much easier conversation, but it's not. So we accomplished all of that, we have the plan that they gave us and the ideas of what this is gonna look like. And they're gonna do more work for us to continue to get this to a place that we can have all the answers, the questions answered, according to the voters, so. I think it's been good work so far.
And again, speaking as myself and not as a member of any committee, but my concern, I've stated my personal concern and not that of the board.
I'm personally very happy that the board pulled back and chose not to go to warrant this year. I think it would have felt rushed to the voters. And I think taking a year to really hone in what we should be doing and what we can do for the price is the right thing to do. I'd love to bring the price of 1B down to 28 million if we could. I would personally feel much more comfortable proceeding with 1B for 28 million than just repairs and a little renovation for 24 for uncompleted project. For a 15% difference, I would do the project.
Yeah, and I think Peter can agree with me, is at the time of when we got the cost numbers, we just didn't have enough information to feel comfortable going forward.
Understandable.
We were trying to come up with, my voice is gonna go by the end of this meeting. We were trying to come up with different options as to possibly phase it, but then again, that was gonna be a rush decision, and then there's other issues. Like you have to go out to bond twice and get 2 bonds, so that's, so I think that was kind of the main basis to pull it back and, again, select the project, hone in on it, get the information in the community out there, and really start honing in on what we're trying to do and why.
I would agree, I just don't think we ran out of time, basically. We
Yeah.
We got a price, and it was a price per square foot, but what makes up those items within the gate.
Agreed.
Yeah, I would echo that. I think we knew it was gonna be a tight schedule going in,
Yeah.
given the short time between, we had the subject matter specialists on board and the time we needed to have ready to go. So I absolutely think it's the right decision to defer, and to build on all the considerable work that's been done since a year ago.
Any other comments? All right. Thank you, Brian.
Sure.
I guess moving into new business. So I think one of the things is the GMS project, so I guess I'll go with FIC objectives. The GMS project is still gonna remain like top priority as we go through this, but I still looking for the community's input as to what else we want to look at. I know we mentioned the CIP that Brian and Julie started and honing in on what that looks like, not for 26, but for FY 27. And looking at what that plan is, prioritizing based upon all of that stuff and working with Brian in that. But otherwise just soliciting input for objectives and things that we wanna look at as a committee going forward. Cause I do see the GMS project kind of tapering down a little bit, throughout this year. So I guess Brian, besides the CIP, is there?
I mean, at this exact second, like, that's all I got.
Okay.
You know, check in with me in a couple months.
But I mean,
Yeah.
the reality is that we have other capital investments.
Yeah.
We've been putting aside money annually for that roof at CHS, which we know is gonna be a big expense, so that's a good call. What other things are of similar expenditures that we need to plan ahead for?
Yeah.
rather than planning to be reactionary, which always costs more.
Without having my computer, I think the next big thing is probably the LMS parking lot.
Yeah, that is the next big thing. I mean, we put that on for, I think, 28, but like, I don't know if we're gonna get to 28,
I don't
like,
think
that's
it'll
kind of the
last.
hope for that.
So would that involve a complete redesign, cause it sucks, or is
So
it,
we got, yeah.
or is it going to be just repairing?
Well, that's what
professional?
we're
Depends on
working
how much you wanna
So,
spend.
We went out and got, a quote from Continental, I mean,
Yeah.
it's safe to say, right? There's not many people who do this.
Right,
They quoted us, and I don't have it in front of me, but it was something like $200-something. But what it didn't price out, and we didn't ask, we said, come in and look at it. But then, you know, our facilities guys, Dave, is really concerned about, I think I might mess up the terms, but the water basins underneath it. And that wasn't part of the quote, so we've asked them to revise the quote, factoring in, like, looking at the water basins, are they in good enough condition, or are those also gonna have to be repaired at the same
I was
time?
thinking more of like the drop off pickup, like that single lane around the building.
Well, and then that's where like the steps go from there,
Right.
right? Like, if we're gonna go and redo, like, if we have to redo that entire lot right there, then let's look at everything,
And,
because
you know,
we're,
would there be expansion, because it's a nightmare on some of those big nights where you can't even get down that street.
right, so looking at all the pieces then, what is the quote for just doing it as it is? It's not ADA compliant right now, so when we do all that work, do we have to be ADA compliant for, yes, is the obvious answer. Alright, we do that, what else do we wanna go? Like, we have a field there, right, like a field that needs some TLC if it's gonna be a field at a minimum, but are we gonna use it as a field, do we expand out and keep heading in that direction? So that's one of the things that we're just chipping away at, getting the different quotes in as we kinda go. We've targeted, I think we have, I just pulled up the CIP, so I'm gonna try and find the number, I think it's 400-something thousand for that work.
I think it was 440.
Yeah, that sounds right, 140, 173, 150, so that sounds like about 440. That would take care of all that stuff around there as our rough estimate. That's less than that quote, but that quote didn't factor
Right.
in the basins and stuff like that, so. And then we had targeted that for 28, but we'll see, like where we end up with it, so.
No, cause we've had 2 significant repairs on that.
We've had 2 sinkholes in the time I've been here.
And
So
it
we have-
collapsed, I think, before you were here.
Yeah. So we had one last summer, I think it was, and then there's one currently that has been repaired, but we're minimizing people on it right
Right.
now, if you've been at the middle school. So it doesn't come back down again, so.
Do we have that little turnaround? On, if you go through the loop, there's a little, kind of a little circle that on
There's
the, on the
something there.
GMS side, do we have that? Is that part of our property or is that just,
You mean right at the entrance?
That's for the buses that are,
yeah, where the buses
There
park?
is like a
I
little
think-
turnaround there, I would
Yeah.
assume it's our property because we use it, but like.
So I wonder if we could go that way,
Yeah,
you know,
Oh, you mean like in towards the woods?
towards the woods.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Well,
I'm pretty sure that's
if
all.
we have to do
school property
ADA
between.
between the two, I think it is, but I think a lot of it's wet.
Yeah.
But to do ADA, well, I think would be a bigger thing, because there's not a lot of room on the right-hand side of the building either, right? And there's not a lot of room behind the building for more space.
no, the drop off and pickup is, I don't know how it used to be, but like now it's pretty manageable, they have it down to a good system, like that line. I mean, you guys drive it, like, it's,
The middle school
yeah.
pickup's great.
It's
That's
not
what-
bad.
It was terrible, right?
No, I
Because it was
no
full
problem
then.
with it.
Huh?
Because it was full then.
Yeah, right? No,
Yeah.
seriously.
They do a good job of getting people around the building, using their stop signs and directional stuff and all of that.
You have that one person who blocked that entrance.
It is really tight parking on events, there's not
Yes.
enough parking.
Oh, it's
for
updated,
events.
it's got solar panels on it.
Yeah, cause that street, McElwain, gets all
Yeah, because everybody parks.
But-
That-
all
So-
the way down, I'm like, dude, they would never get a fire.
Right, you also
I hope
park
no
on
one
the
breaks the
grass
light.
right to the right there, like next to the building.
By looking at
That's
this,
where it
that
goes.
circle is labeled as the street. I wonder if that actually is part of the town road,
Yeah, I wonder.
I think that's around, they used to be the old cul-de-sac.
of the neighborhood.
Oh, neighborhood.
So the road, that circle is part of the town road.
I'm sure you can work with the town and use it.
Maybe we use it, so.
Does that mean we don't have to plow it anymore?
Yeah.
But I mean, if you have to make an ADA, you'd have to move the road in front of the school back and put parking up in front of the school.
Yeah, you'd have to.
I don't know that you can do that easily.
I think a lot of the ADA
Well,
has to do
technically
with the
that's a
grade to
road,
the school.
right, so.
Yeah, I think
you
it's,
have to-
I think it's
A lot of the ADA has to do with the
Is
grade up to the
elevation
school
to
and
get
the
up to
15-inch curb that you have to.
Right.
Cause that's actually, you could argue that the up there is the bus route, that's a road, and then you have the.
Having
ones
had
down
to do it on
below.
a scooter for a couple of weeks. It was not fun.
Yeah, so that is probably besides GMS, the biggest facility thing for us. I mean, we have other things
Maybe
we've
you put the
identified that we
grass
need
on
to
the side.
get done, but.
Well, I guess my ultimate question, I think, is been all along, what is the FIC's role in all of this, right? Like, what do you need us to do in the planning for these projects? I mean, obviously, the roof and the parking lot are like the planned ones right now. Like,
I
do you need
think
us to
once
help
we get-
interview contractors, or do you need us to
So,
look at plans or quotes?
Good question. I think once we have it like truly up and going, so this is the first time we're trying to like apply it, right? Like we have things in here that we're getting quotes for, so at the end of this year, we can act on them if we have end of the year funds, right? It's stuff that needs to get done, but it's not like make or break to get done, right? But it's an effective use of using some of those end of the year funds if they exist.
So
So,
there's that, and you wanna try to level out the annual impact.
yeah, that's what we've done.
Because otherwise you get these huge spikes, and then down, and then up, and then down, and then everybody complains come July when they get their, their escrow adjustment from their mortgage, like, my taxes went up.
Carrie, you can
And it-
stop at everybody complains.
Majority of people complain?
No, everybody complains.
And in our like proposed budget for next year is the first time we are referencing specifically this. Like there's things in our repair
Because some
maintenance
people
lines.
ask, what is the what is the
Right.
backup and the basis for
Right.
the numbers that are being presented?
And then they're here, right here on the plan, right? So like we're tying the two things together. Right. And say we do everything we have on here for 26, end of the year, budget passes, we do all the stuff we have in there for budget, great, everything's going as it is. Eventually, it's gonna start falling off, right? And then we're gonna have to make various decisions that we need feedback from what people are prioritizing. Or if we need to shift things around. For example, let's say the parking lot has to get sped up, right? Like we have 28, we gotta fix it in the 27 fiscal year. Well, what's the give and take of what's gonna go in that situation, right? Like, is there other things that we can, and we're looking for feedback as town report to a group of people who are in the community, can tell you, maybe the decision is don't change your CIP, you know, just put that on, right? Like, all that stuff's important, like, we see the importance, or, like, I think down the road, huge example, but like the CHS roof, we've targeted 2031 as the year we're gonna do it, the fiscal year we're gonna do it. If the building, if the roof is in good shape at that point, it might be a discussion of like, do we wanna wait an additional 2 years? Right, like, that's the discussions we need to have in kind of a committee kind of format when we look at the CIP plan as we adjust over time. There's not a lot to do right this second, because we're just launching it, but as it starts to move and we move pieces around, like, we need the feedback and the thoughts of others. Does that kind of answer your question? I don't know if that-
So I guess I'll now open it up to everyone else on the committee. What else does the community think we should be focusing on to help reference and help Brian and his team and everything?
Brian, how's it going with the field issue?
With the
With
soccer
rec.
stuff?
As the town versus
Well, there's
the arrow.
always
I-
battling for time
I'm
on the,
still
on the,
optimistic that we'll
town fields.
figure something out, right? Like, I just think it's tight, everyone's fighting for the field spaces that we have, right? So, we'll see in the spring, I think will be a good test, we have lacrosse coming up, right? And, we'll see how the spring season goes, right? Like, we're tentatively good to go, my understanding is, for lacrosse over at Dara. I don't wanna mix up my fields, Dara in the spring, and working something out with the rec on all that type of stuff. I haven't talked to Tony, Tony our AD in a couple weeks about it, so I could be not saying the right things. We've left the funding in our budget for now, because I don't think we have a resolution, but I'm hoping when the spring kind of comes through, like, we're in a decent spot with it all, so.
Do we have a ground maintenance contract, or do we do that ourselves?
We do it ourselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there was someone we could get a rough estimate for on what it would cost to make that field at LMS usable, because it just seems crazy to me that we have that space and we don't use it.
I agree, that was a soccer field when we moved to town.
It's wide
That's-
open
that's
still.
where
It's not like
soccer
it
was
grew
played.
in and there's a bunch of trees there. It's wide open. I'll keep going, scroll
No,
more.
it's to the,
It's
yeah,
further.
it's on the back.
It's where you were
That
pointing,
way.
but further. There it is.
There it is, right there.
That was the soccer field, we moved to town a million years ago.
Yeah.
That's where my kids
Yeah.
played.
Yep, and it could be a soccer field again.
Right,
And I
and
think
it's
it's
right
even-
there. Like, there's no reason like the
Yeah.
LMS sports kids can't literally walk out of the building and walk right there. You don't have to transport them anywhere. It's right there.
I have not followed up on that in a while, like, just to be honest,
Yep.
right? Like, so I can follow up with Tony and see where we're at with all of it.
Just if we had it in an estimate and maybe we work it somewhere into the
Or
CIP.
even, we could put it out to the community, see if people, want to help blaze a trail.
I have no idea, but I don't know what I need.
We
Yeah.
build baseball fields in town with volunteer work.
All the time.
So there's
Yeah.
no reason we couldn't say, hey, we have the field, we can't get to said field, somebody interested in taking.
Oh, no, there's
there's
trails
a
to
path.
get there.
There's a
Oh, there's plenty of trails
They
to
go
get
out
there.
there for
So
PD
then what
and
is
stuff.
needed to be done then?
We don't know.
It's-
I
it
think
needed-
the turf needs to be reworked, that also
Yeah.
the trees need to come down, because it is actually smaller than it's supposed to be.
So, okay.
So there is, I think there's work to be done.
I think
And
there's
think
some
that's
grading,
what
it's a little
makes it
unwavy now.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I
Do you
think
have
that
an
would take the
aerial
pressure-
view that shows the school property lines?
I don't, this is just Google
If you
Maps.
zoom out a little bit,
Jason,
just
you need it?
We have, I don't have that at my
I could zoom
fingertips,
out a
but I
little bit.
have.
Basically, the field that you see there to the baseball fields to GMS, kind of diagonal up to LMS is the school property.
Okay.
And then everything up behind all those neighborhoods too, that's labeled Litchfield School Conservation Area, but that's all the way area.
Do you know where the property line is for trolley crossing there?
Well, there's
The
a,
over 55?
there's a right of way access.
Yeah, there is a right of way through there.
Is there?
Yep.
And that's,
It's right at the end of that. To connect that with the middle school road?
Yeah, so in case of emergency, they can get out that way.
Yeah.
That's the second egress or exgress.
I'm
whatever.
talking about.
But it doesn't-
No, the back
Yeah,
of
the
over
50
55.
The 55, right, the-
It's right.
goes
There
right
is
there.
technically a right of way.
But there's not an actual road there.
There's no road there, no.
No.
Yeah. They couldn't get out there now if they wanted to, it's
No, but-
woods.
I thought they had made it.
No, there's no road there. There's a walking trail, you could walk.
Yeah,
Where does the
I've walked
access
it.
road go?
You're not driving anywhere.
Yeah, but where's the access road behind the school though, then, if not?
Which access road behind the school?
There's the one, the gates right behind LMS.
This is the power lines,
That's the
that
power
open
line, yeah,
area
that's the
there.
power lines there.
That's just a power lines trail, that's not a car drivable road. You'd have to have like a utility truck to get out there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just would be interested to see like what it, I'm not a landscaper, I don't know what it takes to refurbish that field, I agree with you, like we could potentially put it out there to the community, like, hey, we need help doing this, here's what we need. But we would need someone to tell us what that is.
Right, no, absolutely, but like I said,
And at the same time, I think you should put, you know, in the same conversation, how much it costs to transport those kids to other
Yep.
towns, other fields in the town when there's,
Well, we
could
have
be
that.
made to be a usable
We have
field
that.
right next.
I'll
door.
ask Tony to do the pricing or at least get going on that.
Yeah,
I think it's a good question.
What's the scope?
I remember
What
we
needs to
talked
be
about
done?
10 or
What can we put
12,000
out
bucks
there
to
the
fix
town
that
and
field.
Hopefully get some help with and reduce the cost if there is any.
So 1 year worth of transportation fixes the field, and then we don't have to worry about transportation again.
well, that's assuming the budget passes.
Right, and if you were gonna have that field be the field the middle school hosts games at, then you probably wanna accelerate fixing the park.
Maybe you put a road extension to the other side, for parking in front of it, this way, side of the field.
Sorry, say it again?
Open up the tree line between the field and the road.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
You'd have to ask if you.
Take all that space, yeah.
The question is, could you do it as conservation land?
Yeah, I don't know if that's
That's not
conservation.
That's
No,
what-
that's
no,
behind, that's on the other side of the power lines, the conservation
It's
land.
from the power
My
lines all
understanding
the way up to.
All that greenery up there on the left side is all school property, that's what my understanding was.
All I know is there was a guy hunting there a few years ago, caused a big kerfuffle, so.
It's like one seat.
Can't imagine why.
I was gonna say,
Well, that's what I'm saying,
There's
so.
a guy walking around the woods with a gun.
Yeah, but that's usually a problem around a school.
Yeah.
Yep.
You want to straight rounds?
Well, he wasn't actually shooting.
But you definitely, I'm sure somebody would take the timber.
Yeah.
But when you think about how, you know, the Justin Bissett fields were built, how some of these other fields were built, they were built on the backs of volunteers.
Right.
And so the
Well, they
reality
were
is,
built on the backs of volunteers of organizations who wanted the fields.
Right.
In the community years anyway.
well, then if somebody wants the field that badly,
The school is what needs the field. There's no soccer league that's looking for that field. There's plenty of soccer fields right now in towns.
Right,
It's the
at the
conflict between the
rec.
purpose for Darapon and what it was used for and why it was designed versus scheduling and all the other things. Sawmill has time, but it's a scheduling thing to get there. That's why they didn't do the sawmill.
okay.
But
And if people, I'm just saying, if people want it badly enough,
we'll approve it in the budget and we'll get done.
yeah, I'm concerned that you're not
LMS.
gonna get an improved budget, in which case you're gonna need volunteers.
The scheduling, LMS soccer had to move to Dara, or to Sawmill, right?
Sawmill, right.
Yeah.
Yep.
So if this, wherever my cursor is, so if this becomes an actual school soccer field, then LMS doesn't have to go anywhere, right?
Right.
So then it removes, it's not a scheduling conflict, but it removes a transportation additive conflict.
Same thing goes for lacrosse, right?
Right.
I mean, I don't think we're paying anything to transport them,
You can
because
play
they're just
both.
taking the high
Yeah,
school.
you
Normally,
normally both better.
And it takes the pressure off what's happening at rec, because the rec fields are busy
Right.
Yeah.
all spring, all summer.
And it gives the recs another field option for this summer, too.
Well, in which case, then you can enlist their help, because they haven't invested.
I
And
mean,
they have money.
I think it makes sense
To investigate.
to bring it back, to first of all investigate.
Yes.
To bring it back,
Yeah.
because those of us have been here forever, and know that it was a viable field at one point.
You don't
And-
happen to, why did they stop using it?
I think it may have got wet too. I think that was the other issue.
I remember
Yeah, it
there
was-
used to be money in the budget every so often, they try to put it in, and it always got pulled out to refurbish.
Yeah, I mean, it was not a good field by any means.
Well, that's where the Litchfield is.
It's the Litchfield.
Oh, well then. Cause I remember they kept trying, in my early years, they were trying to develop a field because there wasn't actually a soccer field.
Right,
At
Brickyard was not full-size soccer field,
Right.
so that's where the Littles played. And that was a parking nightmare over there, and I'm sure it still is.
Still
Still is, there's no parking.
Yeah, it's still
None.
get called all the time. Full parking, yeah.
Anything else by anybody?
No, I think it would be interesting to know what the investment would be required for that.
Yeah, I'm emailing Tony right now, just so I don't forget.
Because maybe it's just, we just need to cut back a couple of trees, that's doable.
And just reseed it.
And I like the idea of making that more parking lot over there too.
Yeah, if you took out that line of trees between the parking lot now and that field, like, you could then push the parking lot that way.
But if it's a
Right.
leach field, you can't necessarily pave over top of it.
No,
Well,
but not,
Litchfield's
Litchfield's the
Where
soccer
it's
field
open
itself.
now, that tree line is
Take
not.
those trees out, you could probably get,
Hopefully the trees aren't over the Litchfield.
You'd hope not, but I've seen some interesting.
I've seen worse.
You know that little gully that's supposed to be cleared out every so often in GMS to help water flow? Yeah.
You can't do that, turtles will live there.
Sizable
Right.
trees in there.
right, the Blandings turtles over there.
Brian, I don't remember from the layout, and this may open up sore subjects, where is the battery storage supposed to go?
It's on the back
It's in
side.
the backside.
It is, you wanna zoom in?
It's in the, like, those parking spots, isn't it?
Here. Okay.
That's what I thought it was.
But that's not gonna be there for like another 10 years at the current rate, so I wouldn't worry too much.
Is it over the spring for
It's supposed to be.
There was also supposed to be limited time, it was supposed to be readily available.
Yeah.
What's the,
4 years ago.
going back to the parking lot question for a minute, that space there on the right-hand side, it's all grass near the building. If you had to go ADA compliant, could you put handicap spaces in there? Is there an entrance on that side of the building?
There's not a, no, but that doesn't mean not a valid entrance, but you could do staff parking there, which alleviates some of the parking in the front potentially.
But you
Like
still
when
would
we-
need ADA spots for visitors, right?
Yeah,
Right.
like when we
That's
have,
what I was
like events, right, all the staff parks in that grass right there, like an open house and stuff like that, so. You could, I
It's
mean,
not
I don't know if there's another purpose
It's
for
not
that.
flat.
Right, like I don't know
We
what
don't
that
have to
would
grade it to
entail.
be
Good point.
allocated, put parking spots,
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if there was an entrance there, cause like, I think the issue with the ADA is, right, you have no way to put something in the front,
Why
That
can't you put
alleviates that
ADA
grate.
parking in front of the gym?
front of the gym.
Where,
Just widen up where the road is, between the road and the gym.
Right, see that
is
space?
it the hill?
The where those bushes are?
Yeah,
I don't know how wide that is, but
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I mean, you could, you know, if you made that road wider and ran it all
It's
the way up
probably a
to the
little too-
foundation, you could put, I mean, that's the logical place to put
You
ADA
have to
Yeah.
extend, cause that,
because anything else is getting up and down.
To climb up that.
right, that's what I was thinking. How do you get closer to the building? Where is there space to get closer to the building?
You want your spots to be close to the entrance.
Right.
Right.
That's why I was. Is there an entrance on that side of the building?
No, on the front side of that side of the gym, there's no entrance.
No, I mean, there's
They
a
have to
back
come in the
door.
front door.
You gotta come in
Right,
the front
which is,
door.
which, depending on where you park, is there a requirement, it has to be X number of feet from the door, from an access point?
I don't think so. It's supposed to be 10% of your total parking. I'm wondering how many it's supposed to be. That's a lot. You're not gonna fit that many
Really?
there, that's for
Wow.
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I want a campaign for one in the dump.
10% of the number of spots, 10% of the amount of the parking lot itself, because the
I've
spots are
never
bigger than
seen this
average.
parking lot with that much.
It's supposed to be 10% of the number of parking spaces.
Spots, okay.
1, 2, 3.
Are accessible or just,
They're supposed to be accessible.
yeah, they don't,
And
they
a
have
minimum
necessarily,
of one, obviously, for a public,
Right,
for a
yeah.
public building.
yeah.
All right. Everybody good? Moving on. Could be a short meeting. I don't think anyone's gonna care about that. So, I guess I don't need to go over this next topic. Dan just told me what, or Mr. Mitchell told me what they all were, so I'm good there. We talked about the CIP plan already. Brian, is this something that you wanna share out yet with a link?
Been shared out.
I know it's been shared out a couple of times in a couple different iterations, but.
Yes. It is done, it's on our website, people can read it whenever they want, I can send
Okay.
it to this group if they want it.
Well,
Very short.
It's been approved, it's been approved,
Yeah.
Yeah.
final, for now.
I can share it right now to this group.
I mean, I can just send out a link too.
So the appointments will occur at the March meeting? Is that what we're reading?
Yes, there are 3 appointments coming up in March. So at some point, we'll have to talk with the rest of the school board about getting notification out about advertising for those and go from there. And then I think is there 3 or is there 4? I think there's 3 in 2027. Or 4, I can't
I think
remember.
it's 4.
I'll have to go back.
I think it was 3 1 year.
Yeah, it was
3 is 1 year.
It was 3 and it was 4.
But then everything from here on out will be 2-year terms.
Correct.
We're
Yeah.
staggered 3 people and 4 people every other year.
Correct. I guess the only other thing under the FIC objectives, there's still a lot of work that can be done within the FIC drive about cleaning it up, getting stuff into proper folders and stuff. I didn't know if people were interested to bring that back up and work, either create a subcommittee or a subgroup just to kind of work on that and take that on. Because it's still, I mean, I know Ray, Dan Mitchell and I sat down and kind of started that organization, but we got to like the first layer and that's about it.
I think that's an adventure, because my experience is that none of the folders in any of the drives are organized the way that I would organize it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, well, and
Everybody has their own map how they think that stuff should work.
that's the problem.
The school board might be the worst, by the way.
Oh, boy.
Finding stuff is impossible,
It
for me,
is.
You need to
Yes.
develop your own CSI code system.
something.
Okay.
I save it to my own computer.
Policy, it'll look beautiful here.
So I think that's just something that, someone wants to spend a couple things to look through and start creating folders. Yeah, so we kind of selected the architecture the way last year, so it's more of just now
Moving it.
going to that next layer and then moving everything and repeating that architecture at subfolders, and grouping it. I don't.
Calculus will reduce that.
Yeah. I agree, the school board folder is bad. Okay. Otherwise, is there anything else that people wanted to bring up?
Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Denise.
Did we want to do another survey at the March election, or no?
I don't think so.
Okay.
People are gonna be cranky at the March election.
Oh my gosh.
So
I think we need more answers before we put out another survey.
Yeah, I don't necessarily know
Yeah.
what questions to ask at the moment.
that was gonna be my kind of counter, was what would we wanna put on that survey?
Only if you want to know what people are willing to spend. Probably
Yeah.
not a whole lot.
Yeah, so I think at that point, I
When
think
they're voting
we
on how
we
much
need
to spend,
more
it's probably not the time to ask them
information.
how much they want to spend.
Right. Because I guess my hope is with more information, I know Mr. Cutter made, talked with a large number of people from the Veterans Association and made some connections there, and then was gonna get other connections to branch out to the 55+ communities and everything and have. So I think there's a whole bunch of opportunities there, so I was gonna talk to Andrew about that tomorrow night at the school board meeting and figure out what is that avenues, right? That's something I feel like could be discharged over to the FIC and start making those inroads and going from there.
I mean, if there's one thing we heard over and over at every forum, every meeting is, nobody knows about it, why aren't we doing a better job of communications and stuff? And so, I know we did what
Yep.
we could do, but I think we need to keep pecking
Yeah.
away at that, how to communicate.
So it's that, and I think it's just gonna be an overabundance of sharing, right? It's just,
How are you sharing? Like that was the
Right.
answer we couldn't get out of people when we asked them. Is like, how do you get your information?
how
I
you
mean, we put
want
it
us
in the
to-
newspaper. We sent a flyer around. We put it on Facebook. Like, I don't know where else to put it.
Right, I mean, short of, right, sending out a mailer, which we know that costs money every single time that we do it, door-to-door mailer, right? That, it's,
And we did that though, and it didn't help.
well, we did it for the survey.
Yeah.
And that's when we got like half of our survey responses is after we did that. So it's like, but still, it's just one of those things that it's like, we put it just about everywhere we could or we could think of, so I agree, and I think at this point, it's just rinse and repeat, again and again and again and again. If people get annoyed with us, that's a good thing, that means they're at least seen and heard it, and they can't say that they didn't see or hear about it anymore. Go ahead.
I'm not volunteering, but is the FIC or the school board, I think the school board's gonna be there next Saturday at the community open
The school
house.
district will get it.
Oh, on
Sorry,
the
what is it?
24th.
Did I miss something?
Town of Litchfield Resource Fair. So like
Oh,
fire.
is that the thing I got in the mail today?
Yes.
Probably,
Yep.
I'm guessing.
Probably.
Yeah. Not seeing it firsthand, but yeah, so we have a table there. Obviously, we're hosting it at high school, but we'll have a table there talking about Friday school stuff, answer questions. You know, a month ago, I thought it would all be project oriented, but we've adjusted a little bit since then.
Right.
But that's okay
So-
too, you have a chance to talk to people.
Yeah. I am out of town this weekend, but I'm sure if FIC members wanted to stop by and help support, I'm assuming that wouldn't be an issue.
Sure, like, more the merrier, I'll be there the whole time.
Brian's always looking for company.
Yeah, I don't know if we are the focus, you know?
No,
but,
understood.
Just a way to get the name out.
Yeah,
Yeah. And I guess there's gonna be like employment resources and stuff there, right?
All kinds of stuff there.
All kinds of
all
stuff.
kinds of stuff,
So-
for the fair in general.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it was like every, like, all the kind
Shameless
of
plug.
local service
Well, if you're
providers,
looking
right?
to hire, I'm sure they'd be happy to.
I don't know if we'll be like it's like not.
No, but I'm
hired
saying
for
if somebody's
us, but,
looking to hire to get a
yeah.
job, because.
Yeah,
The
exactly.
Veterans Association has organized it, and they just, like, I know the community kitchen people will be there, right, like the fire department, their police will be there. I don't wanna misspeak on anyone who's gonna be there, cause
Yeah.
I don't know who's gonna be,
No,
but,
but to your point, it'd be a great opportunity, like, hey, we're a local police and we need you to help, and it'd be good for you to help pay so you can pay your increasing property
I
prices.
know we needed to fund 30 tables for them, so they have at least 30 different organizations that
Okay.
are gonna be part of it, so.
I'm gonna come down and check it out.
Um,
In the
yeah, it's in
gym
the
there.
gym. like I keep calling it a college fair, but for like resources.
Yeah, right.
Because like we're doing the setup and they're like, well, how should we set this up? I'm like, if you're asking me, you should set it up like a college fair. Like,
If I could get a contact from the Veterans Association of who has that information, because shameless plug in my personal with my work, wouldn't mind having a resource. I mean, we're
Yeah,
hiring
it's-
constantly for things,
yeah.
so.
Yeah, and you always see on the Facebook page who's hiring, so that'd be
Yeah.
a great way to.
I got 11 buildings in southern New Hampshire, so not mine, but my company.
Yeah.
We're going from there.
I don't know though, are you gonna take away janitorial staff, in which case we don't want you there?
No. No.
I'm just kidding, kind of. I just know how hard the spots are
Kind
to
of.
fill. Yeah, those spots are difficult to fill.
I mean, it could be that, or it could be if it's second shift,
I'm
right?
just teasing you, like,
Well,
I love the janitor.
I'm thinking my plant engineering folks might want a second shift
There you go.
part-time job.
There you go.
All right, any other topics to go over?
I wanted to ask a question slash proposal. Given that what we just talked about, like kind of the reduced workload of this group at the moment,
Mm-hmm.
does it make sense to meet every other month instead of every month at this point? Until either the GMS project picks back up, or we need to dive further into the CIP plan?
Or possibly just skip
Yeah,
February.
I'm with you, Mary. I think we skipped February, right? It's a short month, it's for the school vacation month,
Right, March will be post.
Yeah.
post-election.
And then they'll have time they'll have bandwidth to help adjust it.
Yeah. I mean, it's a start, and we'll see how it works out from there, and we can pivot as we go.
I'm fine with that.
Okay.
I just don't want us to all have to convene if we don't have
Yeah, no, I'm
stuff
completely
to dive
understood.
into.
Especially when there's so many other things.
Yep.
Is there anything we need to do to help you or support you for the deliberative session?
Come. I mean, it's always good to have people in the crowd, like legitimately, like just the more people, so
The
we
people
can.
in the crowd outnumber the people on stage, it's always. good.
Yeah, it's, it's true, like, and then people can ask questions and they're listening. I mean, I think the budget, not to go too far down a tangent here, I thought the budget process was again a good one this fall, you know, like, our budget's 0.12% up, the proposed budget to what our budget is right now, so, you know, that's pretty, I think that's pretty good, especially looking at other towns around us right now. We have a teacher's contract up, I think facilities related, we have the warrant article to put money away into the reserve fund for the CHS roof, so, you know, this is the second go around for that, it did pass last year, so I'm optimistic it will pass again this year, but more people who can speak to that and say why that's important, that's good.
And we also have the one for the building maintenance too.
We do, I was getting to that one next, and then we have the one that puts money away for essentially GMS, like, you know, that's the target with that. I mean, obviously, at $250,000 ain't gonna cover the cost of GMS, but any money you can put away for that, you're offsetting other costs related to GMS down the road, even if it's, you know, a little bit against the bond or whatever it is that you end up doing with it, so. Speaking of those are good. Teacher contract up, it's not a facilities thing, but, you know, it's nice to have people come out and I hope I can be biased and say support the teachers' contracts, right? Like, I'm allowed to have that bias, like, just ask good questions about what we're doing, because we have been working hard on it, so, yeah.
All right, so looking to skip the meeting in February, which I think that's February 20th, 12th, even better. And then we'll reconvene in March.
You wanna push that 12th back in March by like a week, cause the vote is that might be voting day, 10th.
Yeah.
That's the 10th, alright, make Thursdays fine.
Well, I guess
Digest.
that's gonna be, one is their availability, cause I
No,
know.
that's fine, I just need, you know, a little more, 48 hours to digest whatever happens.
Right.
Well, it's not just that, though, you have potentially new board members in different areas
Yeah.
who will be
Right.
responsible
Yeah,
for voting for the appointment, so it might be worth.
Would we select by then?
Your next,
When is the school board meeting in March?
It's the first and third
But even
Wednesday
still,
of the
the
month.
names that
Yeah,
get
you wouldn't-
pushed
you wouldn't-
here will
they
still
wouldn't-
come to the school board.
March 18th would be the next
Right.
board meeting where you redo the board.
Right,
So it might be worth having it after that.
I would think
simply
so.
yeah,
because you'll have whoever's here, whether
Right.
you choose or not, but that new board will also be responsible for accepting or rejecting whatever.
Candidates,
You candidates from here.
Is there any availability after the,
Yeah, so
18th.
the next window to use this room will be the 24th, which is Tuesday.
Given that we've pared down our number of people, do we really still need this room?
You gotta record.
Where would you want to?
it's either this or the
The town.
town hall?
it's this.
Right.
It's meetings over there,
Oh, okay.
so.
Yeah.
This
I
This
can-
room's
I
better
can-
anyway.
I can
This room is
still look-
better for this group because it's a larger group and everybody can be heard.
Yeah, it's more, I feel it's more collaborative than just having 10 people up front and then a gallery.
People in the crowd.
Yeah, I prefer this.
So the 24th is available as of now. Because you meet on the 18th, I think the 19th would be too soon.
Yep.
Yep,
And then there's Friday. and that's it.
24th is fine.
The 24th
the
is.
24th, and then it would be like 2 weeks later would be the April meeting.
Might
That's
be
fine,
fair,
cause you
right,
might be
quick.
starting to do stuff at that.
Yeah, right, okay,
So you're gonna move the 12th to the 24th.
yep.
Yes, please. And take us off the calendar for February.
Already did.
Be like your committee.
Very efficient.
Well, I guess I'll forget.
Yeah, no, I get that, so, I had something else. Nope, I'm good. Any other?
Oh, sorry, deliberative one more facilities thing, I just saw.
Yep,
We're, this facilities adjacent, if I do wanna bring it up. We're gonna name the baseball field, hopefully. It's a warrant article after Coach Gorham, so that is a facility related thing. Found a lot of support for that, so if anyone can speak on that, if they're looking to speak on it. I did not know Coach Gorham, passed away before I got here, but, we've had overwhelming support for that, so we're kind of applying that policy for the first time, so maybe not first time I can dig up through notes, maybe it's happened other places before, but
I mean, they named
Name Campbell after
Okay.
the auditorium was named up there.
first time I've done it, I guess maybe is the best way to say it, so,
So Bob Leary coached with him,
yeah,
and I know he came passionately spoke about it during
Yeah.
the, I would just ask him to come.
yeah, that's good.
Sure.
I think the
I'm
people,
actually sure he will be.
yeah,
Can't imagine Bob would not come.
but we're talking facilities and deliberative, that's
Yeah.
gonna be one of the things, so.
Which field? The baseball field?
The baseball.
Yeah, Campbell, yep.
I guess, Brian, for the next meeting, is there any issue with me putting in a plug in there for the app or the display that we got from Kay on the solar to start looking
Go
to
for
see that from the facility standpoint
Yeah.
of, look,
Go
it
for it.
actually is on and working.
Yeah, do you wanna go over that next time? Cause you may understand it better than I do.
I can.
Is there a comprehensive written report of the whole solar ARPA fund report?
I don't
What,
know.
what would you be looking for? Like how it's working, how it's funded, what are we looking for?
How it's funded, how it's working, what is left to be done?
How much we have yet to spend on it, because we still have to do the buyout?
Yes.
If we,
I agree with you if, but if we choose to, we're gonna, that's what, that's a.
that was a warrant article last year, right, to put money aside for that?
Yeah, but it was very specific and it locked to one specific year, which may or may not have made sense for us.
So does the comprehensive report exist?
No, not with what you're describing, I don't think so.
Inquiring minds tend to ask about things like that.
Didn't Julie put some sort of timeline together for some of the
Yeah, she's put
events?
it, so I think we have all the information, we
It
just
must
haven't put
have
it
been,
together
because
in
it's
a
part of
report,
the
right? We talk about it literally, I don't mean to be facetious about it, we talk about it every board meeting, Julie
Mhm.
provides an update on solar. But I don't think we've written it as a comprehensive report or anything like that, so. She reports out of it as part of her business administrator update. And, I grit my teeth every time we do it because it's
Mhm.
not fun to
Solar
discuss.
is a dirty word at the school building.
As well as you, quite frankly.
So I
But we haven't like asked anyone to sit down and like go through from beginning to current point where we're at, anything like
I
that.
think that would go a long way toward gaining credibility with the public.
Yeah.
Because every time people mention solar, their jaws twitch.
Mhm.
And, it's a lesson in free money going bad.
It also highlights why we should be thankful that they put off this year's project proposal. Because that was a rush job, that was dropped in people's laps the day before our vote was due. This way, we have at least time to take a look and make sure it's the right project.
I've been trying to dig into the whole
Oh, there's a lot of
solar project.
Facebook posts about it, I'll tell you what.
I understand that, but I'm trying to find design documentation, the SOW, I've gone through the SOW, I've gone through battery storage design,
Let's just say that the electrical consultant advised our people to carry 45 cents per kilowatt hour in a budget, so anything they say should be questioned.
I'm just trying to find the documentation that we signed contracts on. I wasn't a part of it at the end, but I'm just trying to go through the design of all of that.
On that one, so it
Um,
doesn't exist.
Not mine, just again.
But
No, I know, I
It's not
remember
mine.
looking Jenny dead in the eye and say, are you freaking kidding me, 45 cents per kilowatt hour? Ooh,
Not my deal.
no,
So
I
I know
didn't-
where we got
I
it
didn't
now,
blame
but-
you, I don't, I'm just saying, it goes to the credibility of the consultant, when they can, with a straight face, tell our people that our electricity is gonna cost that much, that's what we should carry in the budget. We saved, what, a couple $100,000 by adjusting appropriately?
So, I just figured that I can try to put together what I have to date from the solar and go over, because we're starting to get performance data. I actually have a phone call with them
Is it
in,
keeping the building warm though? Are we getting cold, I've heard things about cold spots in the building.
I don't think it's related to solar, it's
Yeah.
related to other issues.
It's related to the renovation.
Which was related to solar. If not for the solar, we wouldn't have had a renovation.
Carrie, you and I were on the same team at that
I
meeting.
know.
We were pushing this.
There's definitely some cold parts of the building, but it's not necessarily because of the solar not working. There's other things that are getting repaired.
That whole project is.
Not my project.
Yes.
alright. Otherwise, I am good. Any other go backs, action items from anyone else in the committee? Nope, alright. I'll entertain a motion to close.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Okay. All those in favor?
I-
Ayes? Opposed? Abstains? None. Thank you very much, everybody, and have a great new year and rest of your winter. Good night.
Right, it'll be spring when we do that.